Welcome to the video. Welcome to the channel. My name is Rory. Today I'm going to show you how to do the orbiting planets going through a fire ring. We're going to put a fireball up here and we're going to have that spaceship come in just like you saw on the intro. But first I want to show you a couple of tricks. You may learn some things. Some of it has to do with green screen. The other thing is just bringing in parts of clips. So I want to show some of you viewers that may not be aware of this stuff. If you are aware of it, just bear with me. So the first thing we're going to do is we have this green screen here. I just want that fireball and I want the spaceship. I don't want all of it. Now in this particular case, we could drag this into our timeline. We only want this fireball. So we could shrink this up. We could come ahead till that starts, shrink this up, and just get rid of the green screen, and we would have our ball. But let's just pretend, if you will, that you have a timeline already built. You have your audio, you have your videos, your B-roll, you have everything down here, and you decide that you want to add a part of a video clip, and in this case it's going to be this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to two viewers in our edit page. And if you don't have two viewers showing, simply come up to workspace, reset UI layout, and that's going to give you two viewers in the edit page. Now this is showing, but it's not really active until you double click it. Now this is active. So we can scroll through here. This is the second effect on this particular video. This is the third. Now we just want this fireball. So I'm going to go to about there. Now again, remember, we just want to bring in part of it because you got all this. You don't want to have to go through a bunch of stuff. I'm going to hit I on the keyboard. I'm going to come until the end of it right here. I'm going to hit O on the keyboard. And I'm just going to drag that in. And that just gives us the part of the clip that we wanted. We just want that fireball. So now I'm going to go back to one viewer. We need to get rid of the green screen, and there's a couple of ways to do that. And I'm sure a lot of you are aware of how to remove a green screen, but if you're not, I'm going to show you. We can do it in the edit page, and I'm going to show you that way as well. We come up to effects, we click on open effects, and we search 3D keyer. Right here you would search, drag that 3D keyer onto your clip, change this right here from transform or whatever it might be on. We want open effects overlay. Then you just simply draw, and it removed the green screen. But you can see there's a lot of green left yet. We can come up to the inspector panel. We can use despill. And in this case, it did a good enough job, we could get away with it. But I'm going to show you another way. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to bring it in again. Now, this time we only have the part we want. We're going to hop over into the Fusion page. We're going to highlight the media one. Shift space bar. We want delta keyer. Search delta keyer. Right here is what we want. We're going to add that. We're going to make sure it's highlighted. We're just going to simply drag this eyedropper onto the screen, and it removed the green. And you can see that it does a much better job. We can use this just like it is. There's no green. The delta keyer does a much better job in the Fusion page than the 3D keyer does in this page. Now just to show you, I'll drag in this video and you can see the green screen is gone. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually export this keeping the transparent background. If this is something you wanted to use over and over, you wouldn't have to remove the green screen every time. We're going to export it with the transparent background. We're going to click on our deliver page. We're going to give it a name. I'll just name it FB for Fireball. I'm going to save it to my desktop. Now, to retain the transparent background, we must choose QuickTime. Our codec must be DNxHR. Make sure you come down here and check Export Alpha. We're going to add it to the render queue. We'll render that out. Now we can go back to our edit page. I'll take this out of here. We'll import that, what we just rendered out on the desktop. Fireball. Just to show you now that it rendered out, keeping the transparent background. There we are. So that's how you render out a file and keep that transparent background. We're going to get rid of that. Now we need the spaceship. I'm going to go ahead and do the spaceship, and we need this fire ring. I'm going to do that, and I will pause the video while I do those. So I've gone ahead now and brought in our spaceship.move, our ring, and our fireball. So I no longer need this or this, and of course now I can't find those. We don't need that. So we have our spaceship we're going to use. We have our ring, and we have our fireball. We have everything we need now. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to build those orbiting planets. So what we're going to do now is right click in our media pool, create new Fusion comp. We're going to drag it into our timeline. We're going to hop over to Fusion. We have our media out node. Now this is all going to be done in the 3D workspace, but we are going to bring in our fire ring, which is a 2D video. And to bring 2D into 3D, you must project that video onto an image plane in order for it to work. I'll show you how that's done when we get to that point. So first we're going to need a 3D shape. We're going to click that. Make sure nothing's highlighted. Don't do like I just did. But now highlight the 3D shape. We're going to bring in a merge 3D. We're going to bring in a camera, and we're going to bring in a render. We're going to hook the render to our media out. I'm going to bring these over some, put our camera down here. So we should look something like this. I'm going to put the shape in viewer 1. I'm going to turn our shape. I'm going to come up here to the inspector panel. If it's not on, turn it on. I'm going to highlight our shape, and I'm going to change that from plane to a sphere. The base subdivisions and the height subdivisions, you can see here we've got a rough edge around this circle. I'm going to hit shift on my, or control on my keyboard and zoom out a little, but you can see we have that rough edge. We're going to bump up the base subdivision and the height subdivision all the way up, and that smoothed that out. So control scroll wheel on the keyboard, you can zoom in and out. Now what we're going to do, excuse me, we're going to click on our camera 3D. We're going to go back to the inspector panel to the transform tab. We're going to check use target. Then the Z under the translation right here, for the Z axis, we're going to set that to 20. So that zooms out for us. Excuse me once again. We're going to go back and select our shape node again. We're going to hit Shift Space and we're going to search for duplicate. We want a duplicate node. We want the 3D, duplicate 3D. We're going to add that. We're going to make sure that it's highlighted. We're going to change the copies to 6. And then under rotation Y, right here, we're going to right click that. We're going to select expression. And we're going to put in right here 360 divided by 6. We're going to go back to our shape node, the transform tab. We're going to put the duplicate into viewer 1. Drag that up there. Make sure duplicate's in viewer 1. The rotate X axis here. We're going to change the translation on our X. The translation, we're going to change that to 10. We're going to come down here to pivot. The X axis, we're going to make that -10. So now our rotation Y should rotate everything around. I'll zoom out here in our 3D space so you can see that everything now is rotating evenly. We're going to right click on the Y under rotation. We're going to do modify with anim curves. We're going to go up to the modifiers tab and we're going to change our scaling here because we've got 20 frames, 20 seconds. I'm going to go back. I didn't put this at 20 seconds. We want 20 seconds on our timeline. So forgive me for not doing that. So we're going to stretch this out. We want our Fusion clip to be 20 seconds. Okay, back to the Fusion page. So we want to set our scale. So just so I didn't lose you, we're on Shape 3D. We come up to our Modifiers tab. We're going to change the scale. Because it's 20 seconds, we're going to change that to 540. I had to stop and think. I confused myself. We're going to select the duplicate node, Shift Space, and we're going to add a transform 3D. So we want transform 3D. We're going to add that. We're going to go to our translation X. We're going to set that to 10. Now we're done pretty much with our rotating planet. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come up to our media pool. We're going to bring in our ring. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to hit F2 on the keyboard, and I'm going to name it Ring, just so we know what it is. Now, we can't just bring this and try to add it. It's a 2D video. You can't just add it anywhere in here. It's not going to work. We have to project this onto an image plane. So first, we're going to highlight this. We're going to bring in a transform node, a regular transform. Right here, we're going to bring that in. Now we're going to bring in our image plane right here. Now if I put this up in the viewer, our ring, if I connect this to the merge now, you can see that we have our ring. It's so small. Right here is our ring. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the image plane. We're going to come up to our inspector panel. Under transform, we're going to change the scale of that to make our ring bigger. Now it only goes to 5, but we can type in what we want. I'm going to change it 6.0. We're going to make it 6. That's going to be big enough for our balls to go through there. You can see they're rotating through. I can actually go to the shape 3D and we can bring down the size of the balls. Whoops, I'm not there. I'm sorry. We would come to the controls, shape 3D highlighted, come to controls, and you would change the radius. We could make it smaller. I'll put this ball. Now we're way off. I need to go back to transform and double click on our scale. That's where I made it wrong. But anyway, if we click on our image plane, make sure it's on 6, shape 3D, we would come to controls and we would change the radius to make our balls smaller. Just to clarify, I kind of screwed that up. We'll hop over into our edit page. We can see that we have the balls coming through the ring of fire like such. We'll go back to Fusion. We'll come to our Effects tab, and under Templates, Fusion, we want Shaders. And I'm going to bring in the planet, and I'm simply going to connect that to the green of our shape, and that shaded our planets. We can hop back over into the edit page. We'll play this back. We have our balls going through the ring of fire. Now the rest of this is all going to be done in the edit page. We're going to bring in well, first I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to come back to effects. We're going to go to generators. We're going to come down to star field, and we're going to put that below so we have some stars. We have our rotating planets. You can see the stars through the ring, so you know it's transparent. And we're gonna bring in our fireball, and we're gonna have to resize that. We're gonna highlight it. We're gonna zoom out. I'm gonna move it over in this direction. Now, if I play this through, you can see right here there's a flat space. That's just the way they made that particular video. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our Y position, and we're just going to put it up towards the top so you can't really tell. I'll move it over here. We can make it a little bigger, like so. So now we have our fireball, we have our rings. Now we need to add our spaceship. Excuse me once again. So we're going to grab our spaceship. We're going to bring that into the timeline. And it's going to start up in this corner. You can see it. And as it plays through, it hits that planet, starts to fall apart. And what I'm going to do is shorten that up. I'm just going to have it come in, hit that planet, and I'm going to actually shorten this up some more, and I'm just going to fade it out so it kind of just disappears at one point. So I'll play this through. and our spaceship crashed. So now you can just get the timing and stuff set right, but that's how we do it. Did that, boom. Now if we want that crackling to go on, we just simply hold down Alt, drag this audio over so it matches our timeline. Now I'll play that back. And that's what we had. You can work with the sound effects and stuff. But I wanted to show you the basics of how to do it. Our fireball went out as well. So we would have to hold down Alt, bring our fireball over, bring it over again, like so. Play it back one more time. And there you have it. That's how you do that. That's all I have for you in this video. I hope you learned something. If you did, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.